I'm back for my second video doing a deep dive of Dayna and Magan because they are the couple this season that has the most issues. This is when we can all say together,
what the fuck is happening?
So this couple gets 2 whole videos from me. I've only watched episodes 1 through 7, so I'm only getting my information from those 7 episodes. And somebody told me in the comments in my previous video that they do leave the show together, and that is what I predicted. So my name is Katie Sloan. I'm a licensed therapist in North Carolina. I'm also married to a woman, so I do have the lived experience of being an out lesbian for 25 years. I'm just really casual today because I'm in a hotel room in Colorado visiting my oldest son, and we've been hiking today at Garden of the Gods, which is amazing. And I don't have a microphone or light, so I'm just winging it here. Just a little recap here. Dayna and Magan have been together for 1.5 years. Dayna issued the ultimatum to Magan, and Magan just isn't quite ready yet to get married because she says there's a lot of resistance from her family about her being gay, and she's just unsettled around that, understandably so. And she wants more clarity around this issue before getting married. And I also just want to say again that 1.5 years is just not that long.
And that's the thing, it's like, sometimes I feel like Dayna is pressuring me to make a decision. 100%. Like, I just feel like I'm constantly trying to please everyone. Yes, I'm trying to please my partner, trying to please my family.
No, yeah.
It's like, what do you do?
In my last video, I focused on Dayna's behaviors, her communication style, and her poor choices. And in this video, I'll be focusing on Magan's experience in her trial marriage with Haley, and then episode 7 when her and Dayna come back together and all the chaos happens. And I want to make sure to cover 3 topics in this video. One of them is how people-pleasing behaviors ultimately cause resentment and we end up losing ourselves. And number 2, there's something called the second adolescence in LGBTQ adulthood, which could be what's happening with Magan. I'll explain what that is. And number 3 would be what I call the Oxytocin express in queer dating, and how it causes some lesbians to bond together like super glue very quickly. And I'm going to be using information from my personal lesbian dating guide here. It's full of graphs. It looks like my 12-year-old made it, but it was me. And I want to make some speculations about what I think could be happening with Magan internally as she connects with Haley. And I do think that her being, like she says, a late bloomer, which is what she called herself, has a lot to do with why this experience is so unique for her. Initially, we see Magan not having a good time at all. She's observing everybody else connect, and she's feeling like she's not connecting to anybody, and she does want to leave.
I'm having a hard time letting you go and saying that I'm single. Why are we going through this like trial marriage? Like, why are we going through this dating period? Like,
no, I actually think she did really well expressing herself here, expressing her feelings. She's using I statements with Dayna, and she says, this might be too much for me to handle. And now for selfish reasons, I'm glad she stayed because the show would not have been the same without her, but it also would have made sense to me, like if she had decided to leave. And it's okay to change your mind about something if you realize it's not okay for you. You can always change your mind about something, but Dayna doesn't seem to have much empathy for how much pain Magan is in, and she convinces her to stay.
willing to just back out is like concerning to me. Just try to be strong. The fact you just like are giving up now, it's like, I can't. You committed to this. You committed to me. You said things, like you said you would do things. I want you to try.
And I wonder if she regrets that or not. I guess we'll find out. But this is the first glance at seeing how Dayna can subtly manipulate Magan and invalidate her feelings, and Magan just gives into it. But Magan does end up making a connection with Haley, and they end up in a trial marriage together, and Dayna ends up with Mel. Now, once Magan gets a taste of what it feels like to have healthier communication with somebody who's actually a good listener and very different from Dayna, she just starts to light up. When they meet her friends, they say they've never seen this side of her, and she truly feels seen by Haley. So like I said, in one of the earlier episodes, Magan says that she was a late bloomer with dating, and this actually happens a lot with people in the queer community. And it's harmful because many of us don't get the early dating experiences in high school or in college where we get to see what it's like to date different people, what different people can bring to the table, how people can show up differently to love us or communicate with us. And in the LGBTQ community, sometimes we see people come out much later in life and date around a lot or maybe sleep around a lot, and maybe to outsiders it seems really immature. And we call this the second adolescence, since they didn't get to the chance to date maybe in their teens or 20s. And they're finally getting to date the gender they want to date. So here's something really good I found that gives a good definition. Second adolescence is a developmental life stage that LGBTQ adults move through in adulthood after growing up in an anti-queer world. This leads many to feel like teenagers again when we finally get to date who we want to. So since Magan and Haley don't have much dating experience, this could be what's happening with them. Not all of it, of course, but a part of it. Now, how can two people who've only known each other for 3 weeks say I love you and connect this deeply without really even knowing each other that well? And this is where we get our U-Haul jokes, right? It does happen sometimes and it does work out, right? For some people, it actually does work out. We find out that Magan and Haley have been having so much sex that Haley just lost count. It makes me think of the Chaperone song, The Giver, when she says, rhinestone cowgirl all night long. Now they are experiencing what I call the Oxytocin Express, and this is what I believe could be one contributor to lesbians bonding so quickly. It's not the only reason, of course, but it definitely could be one of them. And we saw the same thing happen in season 1 with Xander and Yoli. And since they're having so much sex, they are releasing a lot of oxytocin. And oxytocin is the bonding hormone. It's released through physical contact, like hugging, just kissing, just making out, whatever. But it's released the most for women after an orgasm. And here's my chart showing that as the number of orgasms increase, the level of emotional attachment increases as well. So because of these hormonal effects, orgasms can act like an emotional glue, making people feel a lot closer and safer and more connected. This doesn't mean that orgasm is the only bonding mechanism. There's also their shared experiences, their emotional vulnerability, their trusting each other, but it's definitely a powerful accelerator of attachment. And there are studies around this, and I'll leave citations in the description of this video if this is something you're curious about. And this is why we just see them living in their love bubble. They're just high on the love drugs, oxytocin and dopamine. If they weren't in other relationships, they would probably be renting their U-Haul by now. And this is where we get all the U-Haul jokes. But they both have to go back to spend 3 weeks with their original partners. So let's talk about Magan's people-pleasing now and how it's at play here. We hear Magan admit that she's busy trying to make everybody else happy. Now, as a therapist, I see this a lot with my clients, so I'm sure some of you watching can relate to the feeling of not wanting to make other people mad or feeling really uncomfortable with standing up for yourself or putting other people's needs before your own. And there are certain personality types that struggle with this more. The Enneagram 9s do this a lot. They just want to keep the peace. They're peacemakers, and type 2s are also strong people pleasers. And she could be one of these types. Now, although I don't necessarily agree with everything that Magan and Dayna did, I do see where it was helpful for Magan to experience what it's like to feel heard and in a way build her confidence. And to be with somebody who's less pushy and not so aggressive. What we see happen when Magan finally does stand up for herself is that she gets aggressive back. And this, my friends, is what can happen when a people pleaser finally learns their worth.
What happened? She literally told me to fuck off. What was the reason?
She said, I do not care about you. I'm done. She's going home and that's you want. I don't give a fuck. I'm at the bar. Stop calling me or you're getting blocked.
Sometimes we see the pendulum swing too far in the other direction and they can actually become the aggressor. It's like the dam has finally broken. It's like a volcano erupting. So when Dayna calls Magan and says something about wanting to leave the show, she's just like, F you, okay, fine, leave. And Dayna says she's never seen this side of Magan. She says it feels like she's talking to a different person. Okay, then we have the scene where all the couples are reuniting at the big table together and all hell breaks loose.
And up to Marie and told Marie that you have proof that me and Melanie fucking please.
I did not say that.
Now, you didn't?
Before we get
Marie?
there,
I don't care.
So anyway, back to the receipts.
Magan is really upset about the Spotify playlist, of course, and she actually expressed herself in a healthy way. For the first time, she doesn't have some sort of comeback, and she's just caught.
On your playlist together.
Okay.
And I don't appreciate that at all.
Heard. Okay, babe. Understood.
Then we see her finding out about the matching tattoos, and she is so hurt by this, as anybody would be. I don't think I could ever get over that, but I know couples who can get over a lot of betrayal. We find that they were supposed to get matching tattoos together later, if this all works out. So after they both spill the beans about their activities, well, Magan is honest, but I don't believe Dayna is being honest. I bet Magan's gonna have a lot of questions after they watch this show together, and I wonder if the truth will really ever come out. Some people can lie so well that they actually believe their own lies. It's actually a defense mechanism, and it's a personality trait that I'm not gonna get into in this video, but it's something that actually is real and does happen a lot. So we end episode 7 with Dayna having like a panic attack and wanting to leave the show, but I'm guessing that doesn't happen. But what Magan did well here is that when Dayna was calling her mom and panicking, she was just letting her go through it, which is the right thing to do in this situation. Maybe it changes in episode 8, but this ended with Magan on the porch while Dayna was having her meltdown. So I'm curious to see if Magan will be able to hold on to her newfound sense of self that she's found. Her self-worth did increase with Haley. I hope she remembers what it feels like. I hope she learns that her own needs do matter in a relationship. I hope she can learn to stand her ground and not give in to things that are uncomfortable for her. I appreciate all of the comments you've left me in the last video. I will respond to every single comment. As long as I see it, I will respond. So I will see you in the comments.